Have you ever stopped to think about how your mind actually builds your reality? Moment by moment. How does a simple perception turn into this whole story about me and mine? Well, let's dive right into that, because we're going to unpack a 2,500-year-old mind map from the Buddha that explains exactly that, what he called the fundamental way of all things.
So it all kicks off with this incredible promise. The Buddha gets his monks together and says, "Look, I'm going to teach you the fundamental way of all phenomena." This isn't just another talk. He's basically offering them the source code for how we experience literally everything. Okay, but what does that really mean, the fundamental way? It sounds deep, sure, but what does it have to do with you and me? That's the big question here, and the answer unfolds in a really fascinating way, step by step. To get to the bottom of it, the Buddha lays out these 4 distinct levels of awareness. We're going to walk through them one by one, and we'll start with the one we all know best, our default everyday mind. He has a kind of formal name for this first level, the uninstructed worldling. Sounds a little old-fashioned, but it just means an ordinary person who hasn't really started to look at how their own mind ticks. This is our baseline operating system. So check this out. Here's the play-by-play of our automatic mental process. An ordinary person perceives something. Let's use his example, Earth. They don't just see it. Their mind instantly goes, 1, I am related to this. 2, this is my Earth. And 3, it delights in that feeling of ownership. It's this super fast 3-beat rhythm. Identify, possess, enjoy. And get this, it's not just about physical stuff. The Buddha says we do this with everything: water, fire, other people. Even with super abstract concepts like allness or the ultimate goal of enlightenment, nibbana. We see it, and our mind's first instinct is to try and make it about me and mine. So why do we do this? Well, the Buddha's reason is almost shockingly simple. It's because the true nature of that thing is not fully known to us. The mind just defaults to this I, me, mind reaction precisely because we haven't seen the experience clearly for what it actually is. But what happens when you start to actually notice this automatic reaction? Well, that brings us up to the second level, the path of the trainee. This is someone who's actively learning to see their mind in a different way. And this is where awareness starts to change the whole game. See, the trainee's approach is totally different. They get a direct instruction: perceive the earth, but do not delight in it. Now, this isn't about crushing your joy or becoming a robot. It's about hitting the pause button on that automatic mind reaction, just to create enough space to see what's really going on. And why practice this? Because for the trainee, the whole point is to fully know the nature of things. The wording even shifts here. It's because it is to be fully known. That automatic delight, that sense of mine, is actually like a fog that keeps us from seeing things clearly. And this practice leads us straight to the third level, the mind of an Arhat, an enlightened disciple. Now we're talking about someone who's completed the training and totally mastered this deeper understanding. For them, this practice isn't a practice anymore. It's just a natural state. For the Arahant, there's no instruction needed. They perceive the earth and they simply do not delight in it in that possessive way. It's not an effort. It's the natural outcome of their insight. Because they see it so clearly, the whole reaction of clinging doesn't even get started.
The reason the state is so effortless is because for them, the nature of reality is fully known. The process is complete. They've seen right through that automatic habit of creating I and mine around every single one of their experiences.
And the result of that deep knowing is profound. Because reality is fully known, the fundamental poisons of the mind, greed, hatred, and delusion, are just extinguished. They simply vanish. Why? Because their root cause, that mistaken identification, has been pulled out completely. All right, so finally, the Buddha brings it all home. He takes it one step further to reveal his own ultimate perspective. He explains the core principle that's been powering this whole journey from confusion to freedom. And here it is, the big reveal. He makes this direct and frankly startling connection. That seemingly innocent little act of delights, that mental grasping we do all day long, is the very root of suffering. It's the engine of our discontent. And that means that extinguishing all craving for that delight is the direct path to awakening. This all leads to one of the most remarkable and honestly clever endings you'll find in any ancient text. After hearing this whole profound discourse, what was the monk's reaction? The text says they did not delight in his words. And that is the final mind-bending takeaway. By not delighting, the monks showed that they had truly understood the teaching on the deepest level possible. It just forces us to ask this wild question. If even the words of wisdom that can set you free are not supposed to be an object of delight, what does that really tell us about the nature of true understanding?